Greetings, it is I, your host, Cinema Kane, back at you. Today we are talking the 40th anniversary of George Lucas's classic, the 50th anniversary of George Lucas's classic, American Graffiti. If you've never seen American Graffiti, but you have seen, let's say, Dazed and Confused, American Graffiti is the film set in 1962 about a group of graduating seniors cruising around Modesto, California, right before high school ends. And it's got a lot in common with Dazed and Confused, as I mentioned. This time around, you've got a young Richard Dreyfuss and a young Ron Howard and Cindy Williams from Laverne and Shirley, and even Harrison Ford's in this. It's a great cast, and the show's great. The movie's great. It's got very much the feel of Dazed and Confused, as I've now mentioned 3 times, but it's set in the late 60s, and I even heard George Lucas refer to the film as actually I said late 60s, early 60s. I've even heard George Lucas refer to it as being the dying breath of the 50s, because it's set in 62. And it's a great coming of age movie about, young people trying to figure out where they belong. Do they stay in this relationship, or do they, go to work at mom and dad's store? Do they go to college? What's going to happen? And of course, if you know anything about the 60s, well, Vietnam's right around the corner. So it's one of those coming of age movies. I feel like every generation has had one now. You have The Outsiders is something of a coming of age movie about the 50s. This is something of a coming of age movie about the 50s. Stand By Me is definitely a coming of age movie about the 50s. But then you've got the 70s with Dazed and Confused, and to a lesser degree, the Stoned Age. And then you've got movies like Can't Hardly Wait for my generation from the 90s. You've got movies like Empire Records and Clerks that were also coming of age movies from the 90s that all owe something, at least in my opinion, to George Lucas's film American Graffiti. So if you've never seen American Graffiti, what better time to do it than during its 50th anniversary? So that's my advice. Go out there, watch American Graffiti. You'll thank me later. I'm your host, Cinema Kane. Hope you enjoyed this review of the 50th anniversary of American Graffiti, and I'll see you next time at the video store. Cinema Kane, back at you to remind you to please like and subscribe. Don't forget to share this video if you enjoyed it on all your social media platforms, and I'll see you next time at the video store.